Lecture 7. Adding records with insert. Working with data often begins by adding new information into a database. Whether you are recording student details, product information, or customer records, you will need a way to insert that data accurately. In this lecture, we will focus on how to add new entries into a table using the insert statement, a simple yet essential SQL command that lets you build and expand your database. Today, you will understand how to use the insert into command to add rows of data to a table. We will learn how to insert one record at a time, how to insert multiple rows, and what to watch out for when dealing with missing or mismatched values. You will get to practice writing real insert statements using your own database. Objectives of the lecture. By the end of this lecture, you will be able to understand the syntax of the insert into command, learn how to insert single and multiple rows of data, recognize how column order and data types affect insertion, avoid common mistakes when adding new records. The basic insert statement. To add a new record to a table, you use the insert into statement. Here is the basic structure. For example, you just want to add a record in this student table, and you just write in here as insert into and table name as student, and write all the columns name that you want to add values for. For example, we have ID, name, age, and major subject. Parenthesis close, and write values and parenthesis start. Now you enter the values one by one according to the column names that you have entered. It must be in the sequence so that your data will not be mismanaged. And you just write in here as, for example, we have 16 records and want to add 17, so we write 17. And as a primary key will written without single quotes, but all other things will be written in a single quote. As name, as you can write in here as Austin, and comma, age you can write in here as, for example, 18, and comma, and major subject as science, single quote, parenthesis close, and semicolon. So if you want to add this record and want to run this query, and just click on this icon and click on this again. Here you can see we have 17th row as Austin, 18 years of age, and major subject as science. So you have entered a record using this insert into command. Here you can see we have a sequence according to this, as we have written in here as ID as 17, name as Austin, age 18, and major subject as science. So it worked according to the order that we have written. Let's break this down. Insert into student. This tells SQL which table to add to the data to. For example, we have written a table name in here, and this data will be entered into a student table, not all the other table that we have. The part in parentheses. For example, we have ID, name, age, and major subject. Values holds the data in the exact same order as the columns, as we have 4 columns and 4 values, so it will be stored into this accordingly. If you forget to match the order or skip a value, you will get an error. Or worse, insert the wrong data. Inserting multiple rows. You can insert more than one record at once. This is a great way to speed things up. For example, if you want to add another record as 18 and the name as Mary, single quote, comma, age as 23, comma, and major subject as history, single quote, parenthesis close, and semicolon. So if you want to run this query, and you can just click in here, as we have 17 record here, you can see, and click on here, and again click in here. Here you can see we have 18th and 19th records as Noah and Mary, with the age and major subject as well. So this is how you can add multiple records in SQL using these commands and syntax as well. If your table has default values or allows null, you can skip columns, but you must list only the columns you are providing data for. For example, you just want to add a record to only age and major subject, so you just write a statement in here as insert into student and age and major subject. So when you just close this and write values for parenthesis and single quote as age as 30, comma, and just major subject as arts. So you just want to add age and major subject instead of all these columns. So as we don't have a default value for set for these columns, so it will give an error, although if you have set the default value, then you can just add or skip the column as well. So when you just run this query, and here you can see it has not been added because we don't have any default value. Here you can see if you just write in here as 20 and skip that, and age as 30 and arts. And when you just run this command, it gives an error as field's name does not have a default value. So if you want to add a default value, then you just have to set that before, and then you can just run this command to skip columns and enter the data to the column that you really want to. It's a good habit to always include all required columns, especially early on. Insert without specifying columns. Yes, you can do this. You can just write a syntax in here as insert into, and you can just write our table name, student, and write a keyword as values and parenthesis, and you just want to add 20 as a ID number, name as David, and age as 27, and major subject as science, or you can write history, and single quote and parenthesis close and semicolon. And when you just run this query by clicking in here, and here you can see we have 20, David, 27, and history as well. So this is how you can enter a record without specifying the column names as well. But it's risky. If someone changes the column order in the table later, your query could break or insert data into the wrong columns. It's better to be explicit and list your columns. Common mistakes. Mismatch in values and columns. If you list 4 columns, you must give 4 values. Here you can see we have 4 values and 4 columns, so this has been added to these 4 columns. Wrong data type. Quoting a number or forgetting to quote text can cause issues. Using the wrong order. Always match the order of values with the column list. Start by inserting a few rows manually so you can see how things work before moving on to batch inserts.